Tashi Jomo. Tashi. Tashi Jomo.
The Trossachs are only an hour's drive from Glasgow. Benvenue is the monarch of the glen. It's a great wee hill. Tashi found me a cool hat there. That was 9 years ago, and I'm not wearing that hat today, although I do still have it. Tashi was enjoying the hills in the springtime of his youth, and we'd only just begun our great mountain adventure. The wee man has never been much of a waterman. Tashi, in the prime of his youth, was a magnificent little athlete. He would climb the hill twice over and still leave old two legs trailing in his wake. I grew used to having his apso disdain directed at my plodder's pace.
Tashi. Tashi.
Tashi was only 16 weeks old when he bagged his first Monroe, and in the spring and summer years of our mountain partnership, we climbed lots of big hills together, and in all weathers. Driving rain and howling gales did little to diminish Tashi's enthusiasm for the hills, and oh how he loved the snow. Tashi has always been a playful little dog, although perhaps not in a conventional canine way. He makes the rules, and the game ends when he's bored. In the hills, a found object would become a prized possession. Usually it would be a clump of sheep's wool or a special twig. Tashi would torment me and tease me with his trophy. Most of the time I had no chance of taking possession of it. The hat on Benvenue was an exception. I guess I got lucky.
Somewhere in my heart, you smile, still smile. Somewhere in my mind, you smile, still smile. So we both held hands and we watched wide-eyed for faraway stars, and there were no bars that could hold you, could hold you, could hold you in. There were no bars that could hold you, could hold you, could hold you in. Why'd it take so long for my imagination to fly? Why'd it take so long for my imagination to die? Somewhere in my mind, you smile, still smile. Somewhere in my mind, you smile, still smile. And we both held hands and we watched wide-eyed for faraway stars, and there were no bars that could hold you, could hold you, could hold you in. There were no bars, and we both held hands and we watched wide-eyed for faraway stars, and there were no bars that could hold you, take so long for my imagination to fly? Why'd it take so long?
Good boy.
For my imagination to die.
Those days of mountain, sea and sand will always smile in my heart. But then suddenly, towards the end of our 4th summer together, Tashi developed epilepsy, and old Two-Legs was diagnosed with a heart condition. We were forced to curtail our mountain adventure.
You fly, still fly, somewhere in my heart. You
Ben Moore on Mull was wee Tashi's last Monroe. It wasn't planned that way, it just happened. When we were eventually given leave to return to the hills, it was to visit lower heights, to regain our mountain fitness. And then the list of Tashis was conceived.
Better just wag my tail and let him think he's the leader of the pack.
Tashi Jomo.
Oh, what does he want now?
Alas, over the years, Tashi's mountain
Tashi!
misdemeanours have been many and varied. He has willfully ignored his aspiring pack leader on numerous occasions. His crimes include theft, peeing on rucksacks, chasing sheep and mountain hares, and of course, barking without reasonable cause. Bin is one of Tashi's favourite hills. There are no sheep, so he gets to run free. The views on top aren't bad either.
Tashi, stop that. Come on, move on. Tashi!
Just then, I see some old pals of mine and I'm
Tashi!
off skate.
Stop that now. Come here.
Anyway, that ended badly for us. I got sidetracked by an interesting smell, then I rolled over in sheep's jobbies by mistake. I made a right wee eat of myself.
You've got your own stuff over there. You don't like this, it's dry and old and horrible. That is lovely.
Isn't it? I mean, it's different every time, David. I can't seem to stick to one recipe. It's got ginger and pepper in it,
Yeah.
as well as cardamom.
Have you heard the Alabama Shakes? Because I got their album for my birthday.
Oh, did you?
Would you like a copy
Yeah,
of it?
I'd love
Well, I'll
that.
make you a
I love
copy.
the Alabama shake.
They're brilliant. She's got an incredible voice. Brittany.
Come on, Brittany.
I'll make you a copy of that because I kind of, that was
I think
thanks to
that's
my
just
insomnia.
a C chord
Uh-huh.
track. Yeah, it was my insomnia that I heard on the Tom Robinson show one night, and I loved it so much that I checked out on YouTube and it was like, this is the
Well, it's the BBC World Service to a kind of music programme.
function, as you would expect. Oh, you go. But it's great. It's great.
Look in the frame, this is in, and then when you get more sunlight, yeah,
Oh yeah.
you get really kind of, when the sun's out, you get quite an amazing effect on them. They've repositioned them from where the artists had them. They weren't all. These people are getting reflected in as well now.
Riff is so catchy, and it's just a C
Yeah.
riff up the neck.
Yeah.
It just carries on a C riff up the neck always. Well, if you accidentally sing something you really don't want to be associated.
Yes.
Before Tashi came into my life, my ideal dog was based on Shadow the Sheepdog, from the children's story by Enid Blyton. This was the first book I read, and its fictional hero left a lasting impression on me. Tashi shares many of Shadow's qualities. He is fiercely loyal, he shares my love of the hills, and he is always by my side.
An extremely long exposure here, so everything will stay as recorded. No, you're not in shot. You can sit there, David, you're not in
I
shot.
don't want the shadow to fall over it, that's the problem.
Right, okay.
You can be quiet.
Come on. You're in an awfully boisterous mood today, Tashi Joni. I like it. Because that some of these time-lapse shops in Baraka, and I'm assuming the same thing in Samsara, they were set up over sort of like 12-hour periods, and all the shots were computerized, and two of them would just sit there and do their shift for 6 hours, and then
Just
another.
sitting watching it.
Yeah, just watching it. Nothing went wrong with everything. The camera operation was all computerized. A third of the time, whatever you've got is totally ruined because some outside influence will suddenly interfere.
Oh, right. Like plane or...
I didn't realise, that we were talking about, because they were filming it on Ayers Rock.
Yeah.
And they were there, they had been particularly damp or something just prior to their coming. So this meant the insect population was absolutely outrageous. So they had to get adaptive fever to work with a blower to keep the flies off the lenses of the cameras, and they were all an absolute abject misery. But the amazing shot they've got of this sort of like the branch of the tree at the end of it, that was filmed there.
Oh, that was Ayers Rock. Well, some of it this is in Baraka. Yeah, yeah. Right.
What you like? He just doesn't stop. I mean, he's pants in his pants today. He's normally quite happy just to bask in the sun. It's your fault you didn't eat breakfast, Tashi, not mine. But we'll wander on at least, climb the top of this thing, because it's only about 10 minutes, David. So may as well.
Time.
Yeah. Look at this, look at this. His head's inside the rucksack. You've got nothing left, Tashi.
Pretty cool over here, Dave.
Yeah.
You can't see from there.
Uh-huh.
Around the tree with no leaves on it, with lots of red berries.
Right, I'll come.
Got your cup? No.
I need to bring my flask.
Forgot it.
I said I need to. I brought water, largely for His Royal Highness. And that, well, you know that big opening shot in Samsara of the temples?
Yeah.
Well, that must have been tracked somehow.
Some of it looked aerial, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they go in these planes as well. There was one guy who was on this plane where it started to crash. It sounded like a fucking nightmare.
You can still get great days in the autumn hills, but by the time Cairn Table was added to the list of official Tashis, we both put on a few extra pounds. Lack of hill fitness and age were beginning to catch up with both of us. I began to wonder if bigger, rougher hills were still an option.
You're perfectly in frame. Tashi, stop barking.
Can I say hello to your little dog?
He'll probably bark at you, but you can if you want. Yeah, it's lovely. Tashi, come here. Stop barking.
Tashi has been my greatest teacher in this life, and through him I have come to understand the dharma of unconditional love and compassion. I was a sad, middle-aged man when he came into my world and gave me a reason to live again.
Tashi.
Oh, come on, Biggin. Let me at them.
We're on our way back down now. My ingrown toenails on my boots are hammering against the front of my boots. It's like a big thick socks on. First time I've worn hill boots in a while. Can't see the summit from here. The summit's 5k from here and about 500 metres of ascent. It's a lovely day. I'm glad to be nearly back at the car.
You could let Tashi try and catch it. That would look after dinner for a couple of days.
Wonderful look up.
Absolutely.
I think the nearest possible place for getting the stones is about half a mile away.
Tashi.
Perfect winter days in the Scottish mountains can be few and far between, and the wonder of a temperature inversion seen from such a low hill is a real rarity. I believe that wild places and mountains are where the spirits of the earth can still touch our beings. In this abode of ancient gods and goddesses, we live in the moment and are truly alive. When I am high on a windswept ridge, for a time I escape the madness of the illusory world of samsara, and for a time I exist in the now of the endless is. A speck of dust on the path towards nirvana. This is the other side of the hill, the side I've rediscovered with my little Apso. Tashi was only 9 weeks old and no bigger than my walking boot when we first climbed Conic Hill. We've been up numerous times since, but never on a day like this.
Shush, Tashi.
Oh, you're fine. I hear you.
Tashi's a cheeky little chap, and he's always on the lookout for the opportunity to make potential mischief.
Now, there are times when you have to give your human the illusion of being in charge, and it looks like I've just blotted my copybook here. No worries though, I've got hundreds of ways to make old mountain boy feel guilty. First rule of Duck Club: don't get caught with your paws in the sandwich box. Oh, wait a wee minute. Is that no the boy with the red gaiters that called me a daft wee dog? I'll be having words with him, all right.
Tashi! Tashi! Okay. Tashi, Jomo! Sorry.
Can't go around eating other people's food, Tashi.
You're a grumpy little bugger, Tashi.
Diflet 2 legs.
For the first time, Tashi and I's ages are biologically equivalent. Old age creeps up on you slowly. With dogs it happens quite suddenly. Tashi and I are in the autumn of our lives now, but his autumn will burn quicker than mine. Of course Tashi doesn't know that, nor has he noticed the passing of the boundless energy of his youth. Tashi is always in the now, and will be right up to his last moments.
Well, here we are, New Year's Day, 2016. Tashi and I are out for a jaunt in our local hills, the Campsies.
Tashi is nearly 12 now, and his soul is as old as the great snow mountains of his ancestral homeland. Our hill days have continued throughout the 4 seasons of his life, and they will always smile in my heart. I do not think there will be many more Tashis for us to share, but his life has burned so very brightly, and that is something to celebrate. Hark as my lingering footsteps slow retire. Some spirit of the air has waked thy string. 'Tis now a seraph bold with touch of fire. 'Tis now the brush of the fairies' frolic wing. Receding now, the dying numbers ring. Fainter and fainter down the rugged dell. And now the mountain breezes scarcely bring a wandering witch note of the distant spell, and now 'tis silent all.
Good morning everyone, it's Tashi Jomo's 12th birthday. So I'm here with Pixie and Neil, and we're on our way up towards the Cobbler. Mountain weather forecast has said we would have cloud at this point to make it a bit cooler, but that disappeared very quickly. So luckily we're walking up the lovely new path that's been here for about 10 years and not the old way, which is purgatory. We're not far from the weir that gives us the first view of the Cobbler. Tashi's in the rucksack and little Pixie's on the lead. So we'll check in again soon. Pixie pie! Kiss the girls and made, no, kiss the boys and made them cry, eh Pixie? And there's Neil standing there, checking his phone.
I'm sending a WhatsApp.
Pixie! Yeah! And there's a big Narnian boulder in the background, Pixie. You fancy climbing that, no? Give us a wave, Neil. Excellent. Go on in, go! Lomond is Arthur's Loch, the islands in Loch Lomond are the legendary Avalon, and they use the fact that the other name for the Cobbler is Ben Arthur, and that Dumbarton was known as the fortress of the Britons, the castle that's there, and there was a Scottish nobleman who was called After something. Hello Pixie La. Hello there. Hello my bonny wee girl.
Tashi is surrounded by the hills that he knew and loved here. Ben Lomond, my first Monroe, guards the west. I've climbed it 9 times in all, and twice with Tash. The Narnian boulders are an auspicious choice for him. He first came here as a wee puppy with David, Billy and Maggie. He was just over a year old when Anna joined us to climb Benin. And then, years after that, he nearly climbed the Cobbler again with the dump truck. And of course, on many days it was just the two of us. Now his mountain tale is over, and he will be forever in the hills.
Just round about these boulders is where I'm going to put Tashi. Okay, here we are, up in the Cobbler. Pixie's climbing the rock. Well done, Pixie girl. And little Tashi's in here, so I'm returning him to where he went. Tashi laugh. I'm going to let you go to the winds now, wee man. And you'll be forever in the Argyle arms. Look at you climbing on the rocks. Are you going to go up the top with Neil? Eh? Are you? Oh, what a good girl. Oh, well done, Pixie girl.
Jump over the other side.
Oh, well. We've just given Tashi's ashes to the winds. And there was a nice bit of wind for it. This is a lovely spot for you. There's one of your biggest conquests up there, right next to Ben Narnian. Look into the Cobbler, and beyond that, up there is Benin. Okay. Thank you for being here, Pixie, and well done for getting up.